Yes, y'all, this is G Vision, secret weapon in the building. I am Sir L. Shout out to my big brother School holding it down in another part of the kingdom. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice, baby. Ha ha! Black History Month, second webisode coming at you full force. One more game. So let's get straight into it. Last time on G Vision, we talked about the meaning of this here RBG flag and the whole significance of it and why it's even relevant. This time, we're going to delve further down into this rabbit hole. And in a song that was entitled Every Race Has a Flag But the Coon, which we talked about on the last webisode, in that song, Every Race Has a Flag But the Coon, there was a phrase entitled 41144. Now this means nothing to most of us, but most of every song that ever comes out, everything in it has a meaning, except for this new Young Thug babble. But most songs, especially songs of old, especially when they mention numbers in a certain sequence or certain phrases that are just not used in everyday language, that has meaning. So we took the time to research this 41144 and check it out. We're going to put it up on the screen so you guys can read along a bit. We're not going to read the whole thing, but if you got time, just go to your search engine, type in 4-11-44, or just type in 41144. And what comes up is interesting. So we just want to read a little bit of what Wikipedia had to say about what is the meaning of 41144. Not going to read the whole thing. You can do that at your leisure, but let's just see. Okay, first of all, it starts off, it says 41144 is a phrase that has appeared repeatedly in popular music as a reference to numbers allegedly chosen commonly by poor African Americans while gambling. The roots of the phrase can be traced to the illegal lottery known as policy. Okay, that was the name of the lottery, policy, in 19th century America. Alright? And basically, without having to read the whole thing, I'm going to leave it up on the screen. Without having to read the whole thing, 41144 was a common number that was chosen, in quotes, chosen by black or African Americans during this time very, very, very frequently. Some even go as far as to say as they weren't even choosing the numbers, but that was what was being given to them. But 41144 was a very popular combination amongst the blacks. And like I said, you can read this whole article at your leisure, but I want to point out a few key points. If you scroll down, you'll see that in 1890, there was a person that came out with an article. And this article in the New York, I believe it was in a New York City paper, it says, in 1890, How the Other Half Lives, Studies Among the Tenements of New York. This was by an author called Jacob A. Reese. And he wrote, of all the temptations that beset him, the one that troubles him and the police most is his passion for gambling. The game of policy is a kind of unlawful penny lottery, specially adapted to his means, but patronized extensively by poor white players as well. It is the meanest of swindles, but reaps for its backers rich fortunes wherever colored people congregate. Between the fortune teller and the policy shop, closely allied frauds always. The wages of many a hard day's work are wasted by the Negro. Let me repeat that. The wages of many a hard day's work are wasted by the Negro, but the loss causes him few regrets. Penniless, but with undaunted faith in his ultimate luck, he looks forward to the time when he shall once more be able to take a hand at beating policy. When periodically the Negro's lucky numbers 41144 come out on the slips of the alleged daily drawings that are supposed to be held in some far-off western town. Intense excitement reigns in Thompson Street and along the avenue where someone is always the winner. And that's why I want to stop at right there for sake of time purposes. 41144 still rings true today, because how many of us do we see as people of Negro, Afro-American origin? How many of us do we see as to where we are bent on playing the lottery, bent on trying to make it big? As he stated in his dissertation here in this paper, the man said that the Negro is he's bent from a hard day's work. He's wasted from that. But that loss causes him few regret because of the illusion, of the thought, of the hopes, or as he put it, as the undaunted faith that he has on winning and making it big. Family, if this is not our people, I don't know what it is. So this is why it is important to know your history and your past, so that it can give you a guide for your present and for your future. You have to understand, as a people, this was not just done to black people, but it also said that poor whites were also grouped in this category as well. Anybody that's poor, oppressed, been disadvantaged, or you have the history of that in your family, you need to look at this, because this is a clear and precise example of why we need to stop chasing after illusions, why we need to understand that there are people that have plans to keep you on the bottom. And once you recognize those plans, once you recognize the trap, it is on you to A, come out of the trap, B, stay in the trap and keep complaining, or C, stay in the trap and stop complaining and continue to play lottery, continue to smoke Newports and blunts and drink St. Ides and Mad Dog 2020 and Cisco and smoke your crack and deal your dope and smoke your dope and do your ecstasy, pop your pills, do your dabs, and all of the rest of that. So all of us have a choice. I set before you blessings and curses, life and death. Choose one. Last thing, and we're going to close this out. 41144. This was supposed to be considered as a poor man's lucky numbers, if you will. 44. Mr. Barack Hussein Obama is the 44th president of the United States. Just food for thought. So, I thank you for your time. I want all of us to delve deeper into, first of all, before you get into your black history, get into your Holy Bible history, okay? Because black history is very important. But knowing the history of the Bible will help you to understand all people's history, because that starts with black history. Because all of us come from, I don't care what color you are, you come from the essence of Mother Earth, the essence of God. And that essence, which everything comes from, is the pureness of black. So I appreciate all of you all who take time to support the Lord and His work. All of you take time to support Secret Weapon and what we're doing. All of you take time to recognize that all of us, regardless of what color you are, we all come from the essence, which is the blackness. And that, my friends, is black history. We love you. Thank you. Shalom.